Hello, everyone. We are the Queens of Poker. Welcome to podcast episode 8. I'm Julie Keene. This is Sandy. I don't know how to say your last name still.
Arumier.
Sounds so pretty. Sandy
There you go.
Arumier. And
There you
today
go.
we're talking about if pro women are getting harassed at the tables, how can anybody be saying that regular women like us, poker players, are not getting harassed at poker tables? And we're just going to talk about the whole subject and why this is still even an argument. We're going to talk about that Ben CB crap on Twitter. We're going to talk about Mac Berkey's podcast input and Lexy Gavin, what she recently has on her WSOP vlog. And we're going to talk about our own experience. And we welcome you guys to come and talk or put it in the comments because we really do want to know what's going on, get clear on it so we can come up with some solutions. So, how are you, Sandy? I know you've had a recent experience with this.
I'm good. Yeah, it's been a kind of a rough week playing poker. I don't know if
Okay.
it's the energy in the air or just men are a little bit more aggressive. I don't know what's going on, but Saturday I had a really rough time playing at a cash game and people were drunk. There was one floor guy for 100 poker tables.
Where?
Nothing, at the Commerce. I was really unfortunate and I did not want to be there and I couldn't leave because of traffic and I was waiting for traffic to die down, and I was winning too. And what's really funny to me is that majority of people said, well, why don't you just change tables? Why should I have to change tables? Why is that the first thing that goes to people's minds is to have the person that's being harassed to
Yeah.
move? Why isn't the person causing the issue removed from the place? The floor came and told the person, you're causing trouble, stop it. And they would pretend like, oh, I didn't do anything. But as soon as they walked away, they would start up again. So that person should have been kicked out. The
Um,
person said I was cheating. How do I cheat in a mixed limit game? It just
and it
doesn't
was a
make
man.
any
Do you
sense.
think it was a man? And do you think it was because you were a woman or had something to do with that?
Oh, it was totally, I was the only woman at the table. And I told him, I said, if I was a man, you wouldn't talk to me like this. So it
Yeah.
was just a really rough weekend. And
What was he doing that? Was he angle shooting or was there
he
some
was talking
confusion?
a lot. No, there was no confusion. He was drunk and he decided he
Oh,
wanted to raise every hand so he would lose. And we figured out the pattern. We figured out his pattern, the whole table,
not
and
that
we would wait
hard.
for him. I know. So we waited for him to bet and we would call his bets and then he
Hmm.
would lose by the river. But then I would win and I won a few hands back to back off of him, but I just had
Hmm.
good cards. And he was telling the dealer kind of under his breath, is that normal? Because she can't keep winning like that. So I mentioned to him, I said, are you saying I'm cheating? Like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
Oh, so he didn't say you're cheating. He
Oh,
just,
he did. He
yeah. Oh,
applied that I was cheating. So I told the floor, I said, this person's implying that I'm cheating and he's telling everybody and the dealer. So it was just really, it was a very unfortunate situation and it does not make me want to go back.
yeah. It sounds like, and he didn't say anything to anybody else except you.
Correct.
Yeah, which does happen a lot. I notice if my husband happens to be at a table with me, which he hasn't in a long time, or I have guys even ask me, "Where's your husband? Is he playing cash? Is he in the tournament?" I think because they want to know if it's okay to mess with me or not. I wear a ring. I don't try to hide it. I talk about my husband, but I shouldn't have to. I know that I have never had a bad thing or anything said to me when my husband is at the table with me or when people know that he's in a tournament or at another, even at another table. And to me, that I don't know, it makes me feel like these men are just getting their entertainment, or definitely it happens more when I'm winning,
Oh,
right?
for sure.
And it does mess up the flow. It sounds like this guy maybe wasn't a poker regular though. Like he doesn't, if he's asking if winning means you're cheating and he's so,
No, when
yeah.
he first sat down, he was a little confused, and I said, "Oh no, this is Big O, and it's a limit game." He's like, "You don't need to tell me. I've been doing this for 36 years." And then every hand he kept going, "What is the bet? What is the bet?" He was
Oh,
just, one of those guys who is probably really miserable in his day-to-day life because he would constantly talk would not stop talking. He was one of those. I don't know if you guys watch the show What We Do in the Shadows. He was what I call an energy vampire. Like he took the energy away.
I
We
know
were
what
having
that
a good
is.
time until he
Yeah.
showed up.
Yeah.
So we were having a good time. It was chill. I was happy. I was like, oh, this is so much easier than the HP. People are
Yeah.
nice. It's chill.
Right.
And then this guy shows up and it just kind of ruined the whole vibe. No, he was And then he would say, oh, which made it really funny to me, I thought, because that he's a miserable person in real life. Cause then he would say, well, women don't like me. And I wanted to be like, I wonder why. Like,
Yeah,
the way you talk to
yeah,
people, it was too much. I don't want to be in those situations. But again, why should I have to leave? Why should
right.
any woman have to leave the situation when somebody else is the aggressor and causing the problems?
I agree. So you did call the floor or someone else called the
No,
floor
I
with
called
the,
the floor. I
okay,
called the
and
floor.
what
They
happened?
came over and said they told him to not talk to me and to leave me alone. And then they leave and then he still does it. So I would have to call back, but he doesn't do it in front of them and nobody really stood up for me. So that's the thing too.
Nobody
Other
at,
people,
well, do
no,
you,
nobody, you know why?
yeah.
Because they don't want him to live because they
That's what
make
I
money
was,
off of
yeah,
him.
because he's juicy and he's giving up all
Yeah.
these chips.
So for
So they're
them,
like
it's making
telling you
money.
to just sit and put up with it. And in that case, I got to be honest, I might have just put up with it, humored him, smiled, and just continue to play. But it depends on how bad it upset me, whatever
Awful.
he
It
said.
was the most abusive table I've ever been at least in the
But
last like
just him,
10
not
years.
not anyone else, and just him at you.
Just him at
Okay.
me.
That's
And like
so
I
I've
said,
had
he wouldn't have
way
said it.
worse. I had a guy recently say he was gonna crush my nose and
Oh my God.
like he wanted to kill me. He was, I think, crazy and schizophrenic. He should not have been allowed in there. He had like 2 grand at a 2-3 or a 2-5 table. And the lucky lady manager did not do a good job at the cash game. He's new. I think he came from HP. He wanted to like ignore it, I think, because this guy had a lot of money, but the guy was drinking. He definitely had all the signs of super dangerous meth head, mentally ill. And he was saying stuff to the big dudes at the table, not just me, like making fun of a big guy's name. And I was like, I'm going to leave if he doesn't leave because I know what unsafe, like this guy could have gone off at any minute. It took him a while, but he said maybe the fourth thing to me, which was like threatening my life. And I just said, all right, I'm out. And Hannah, who hosts the game in the back, went and said something to the staff. They got security and they got him to leave. But it looked like he was going to go either direction from fighting 6
Mhm.
security guys. And I'm thinking, you know how much liability it is that the management came over 3 or 4 times and didn't remove this guy and didn't assess the situation? That's terrifying to me. It doesn't make me feel confident that I'm
Yeah.
safe. And I am thankful for Hannah because she's a woman. She was like, no, why does he need to be here? I don't care about his chips. Get him off the table, right? Because if 2 guys have already gotten up and I'm like, I was winning too. I don't want to get up, but I will get up because I'm not going to, it's not worth it. And it can be, like you said, such a downer. It can change the way I play, even in tournaments. It can really affect me. And it's getting to be more rare that we have a final or that we have a table where everybody's happy and nobody's fighting, it seems like, right?
Yeah, it's very aggressive and it shouldn't be that way. We should be having a good time. We're playing. I know it's money, but the reason they don't let someone like that leave is because he has 2 grand in front of him and money speaks. For a
Yeah,
casino, all that matters to
right,
them is the money. So they
right,
don't care about the patrons.
right.
But they will care about the patrons when someone gets hurt and they get sued until that happens.
Right.
So
And I'm sure they have insurance for that and they'll fight like hell, but also they should want, I mean, I see Commerce spending a lot of money on social media. They're doing a kick-ass job. They hired a really good person, Cairo, who I love, but I don't think if they're being negligent in the area of making sure women are comfortable there, they're not going to increase by very much. Maybe the guys, but the WSOP circuit went well there, and I'm hoping that their next events go well there. But and I've had a good table experience at Cash. I've only played it a couple times there, but I would be more hesitant to go just because I heard that they were not super helpful for you. Did
yeah,
you
we're
want?
not. I mean, other people that we used to love going there. It was like our home base,
Oh,
but it's changed so much over the years. Most regulars don't even like playing there anymore.
that's a bummer because it is a big
Even though it's
casino.
crowded and lots of people are there, it's just you don't see a lot of the people that you used to play with.
What did you want them to do? What would have made you
They kicked the
feel
guy
better?
out.
Just say you need to leave this table or
Yeah, or
because you
kick him
didn't.
out.
Yeah, I feel like it's like a toddler. 2 warnings, you're done. You just need to leave the table. But I do see where the other guys would have been mad at you, so that would have been hard for you also, right?
But it's not hard for me. I don't care if they're mad.
Yeah.
Someone that's aggressive and being rude. is not
Yeah.
tolerable. I shouldn't have to
Yeah.
be there dealing with that
Right.
kind of behavior. Nobody should be able to deal with that behavior. I would have to get kicked out if I was treating someone like that.
Right.
In a
Nobody.
heartbeat,
Yeah.
in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
The other way, I would have been kicked out.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. It's very,
I
the double
agree.
standard is too much. And regarding commerce with their social media and doing a lot to make it like more inviting, I don't feel like it really translates to their day to day yet.
No,
So
that's what I
hopefully in the
was. Yeah.
future it does, but for now
Right.
it's still just for their series and they do a great
Right.
job, whatever they're working on. But
Yeah.
when it comes to their daily and their rec players, I don't think that they're doing a good job.
That's good feedback. And if anybody from Commerce ever hears this or knows somebody, maybe you want to come on and we can talk about it, or you can think about the Raise It Up program from the Women's Poker Association, which more casinos and card rooms are signing on for. Because, like we said in our first episode, there's a lot of us, not as many guys who play poker, but there are a lot of us women. We're rec players. We have expendable income. We want to play poker, but we're not going to go somewhere where we don't feel like we're being supported
Yeah, go
or we're
spend
not
our money
safe.
somewhere else for sure.
Okay, so this is Lexy Gavin, and this is her vlog of the WSOP. I've been following her for a long time. I love it. But when I heard her say that this is happening to her, it makes me think, like, what hope do us just regular everyday women who are not poker pros, who are not vlogging every day, like what hope do we have, right? And her husband was there in the tag team event with her, which yeah, it really makes me worried for the supporting women in poker. Like a lot of women, I also was on the Women's Poker Association Facebook page, and there were quite a few women there posting comments about getting abused and harassed and irritated at the WSOP in the different tournaments. That is not okay. And I just don't understand why it's being tolerated by the poker rooms. And it's going to continue unless we all get organized and start saying that we're not gonna put up with it anymore. Started here.
Jim, I'm gonna work out in here. It's nice because I have a room, so I have a key to get in. And I feel like pumping out some iron because my table, I must say, not very friendly. And a couple of them just downright rude. And one guy started like harassing me, kind of. It just like kind of wasn't a great situation. So gonna go work out some steam. And yeah, it was bad. I almost fell to the floor. But anyway, okay, let's go pump some iron and hopefully Bobby can run it up.
So that's gnarly. Like if she almost called the floor at the WSOP when she's vlogging in a tag team event with her husband.
Like, what hope do we have? I don't know. I don't know why people are being so aggressive right now and why people need to be rude, especially when you're in a tag team. I don't understand what the situation was. Did she talk about it later, exactly what happened?
She didn't, but I would love it if she would talk a little
Yeah,
more about it. And I wish she had called the floor, but then you're the target. Like if we call the floor, it feels like, and it's all men at the table, I feel like then we become the target. So I could see where she didn't want to do that. I
yeah,
mean,
but I was
yeah,
watching, I've been reading the updates on poker news of the day of what's going on throughout the day of day two, day three. I read an article, a part of it last night where someone on one table was angle shooting and then somebody got mad and the floor came. So they did call floor and they handled it. So that's what they're there for. They are there to help us make sure things run smoothly. So if people get mad, I don't care.
yeah,
We all have the same goal and it should be done professionally and respectfully. That's it. I mean, we're not
yeah.
asking for much. We're just trying to get things done. If you can't control your emotions, then maybe you shouldn't
Hmm.
play the game.
Yeah. And I wonder if in her case it was because she was winning and maybe some men don't like being beat by anybody, but let alone like a beautiful woman. And I don't know, but I almost wish she had, and I hope she feels that she can come on and talk to us about it or just go more in depth
Yeah,
about it because it's not okay and we should be telling the floor. And then if they don't respond appropriately, like it sounds like they didn't in your case, then that's on them. But at least
right.
we're showing, and I have been calling the floor lately if it needs to happen because it might help another woman who might never come back because she's so upset by it, right?
Right. I would rather not have a conversation with someone that's bothering somebody. And I just call the people that are in charge that run the place to come handle it. It's better to do it that way than try to
Yes.
confront each other. So that's my thing now. I don't get in arguments or confrontations with people. I just call the management and have them handle it.
For sure. And they do want us to do that. Other thing is that Ben CB, the whole Twitter thing kind of feeds right into this. And we haven't
Yeah.
really had a chance to talk about it. The LA Poker Roundup guys talked about it, I think either last week or the week before, which was a pretty good discussion on it. And they're like, yeah, women get harassed. And no, men are not by nature more competitive than women. Like his whole argument was stupid enough that I wonder if he was just doing it for clickbait or for attention, or he's never had a girlfriend. Like, I don't know.
He's a 25-year-old. I spoke with Ty from LA Roundup. I
Oh,
saw
okay.
him. So
Because
I said I
good.
appreciated him standing up and being a cool dude and
Mhm.
talking about it. And he said, look, this guy is like an online gamer. He switched into
Oh,
poker. He's never really done anything. But the fact that a 25-year-old kid who has no degree in science or medicine or psychology or psychiatry or anything to do with uh, personality or what have you, is telling people he knows
yeah.
better.
Yeah.
A 25-year-old kid
About
who knows
biology.
nothing about
Yeah.
nothing, that
Yeah.
he knows better than women. I'm just
Right.
like, okay.
See,
It's not even worth arguing
yeah.
because he's an idiot.
I didn't know who he was. I didn't know he was 25.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's a
That's
young kid.
great information. Thank you. And
Yeah.
yeah, most I learned was that, and then listening to Ty and Eric's podcast, the LA Poker Roundup. So yeah, but he did start a lot of a debate. Like somebody posted that the Win Championship, the ladies event, because they chopped it 15 ways, and I don't remember. I think she was a pro player. It was a lady calling it out, like on the one hand, you want to be taken seriously, ladies. Yeah, we do, and so should you. Like, come on. The other hand, you're chopping this event as if that proves his point that we're less competitive, or like that's just silly because I chop a lot of events and I would think about chopping that. You still get a trophy, you still have a first, second. They chopped it. I don't know if they chopped it evenly 15 ways. I'm guessing not. And somebody definitely must have gotten the trophy in first place. But I mean, there are a lot of reasons we do that, right?
Yeah, I mean, we do. You get tired, you've been playing for hours, you're just going around in circles, and it's a bingo at that point.
That's
One
the
person
main.
makes it,
Yeah.
then it goes back to another
Yeah.
person, it goes around in circles. So
The
it
bingo.
can take
Yeah.
forever. It can take forever to get down to one or two players. And if they've been playing for
Yeah.
10 hours and it's a one
Right.
day event, if they all agree, it's their money. They can do whatever they want
Exactly.
with it.
Yeah. 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 The bingo thing is the biggest. Like it literally becomes whoever gets the best cards quick enough because
Yeah.
you have so few big blinds by then, for people who haven't played tournaments or haven't played that long. I think that's a lot of it. And I don't think that's lack of being competitive. They all made it that far, which is
Exactly.
freaking hard to do and amazing. I think it's more like, is there a better way we could spend the next 2 hours other than trying to see who gets the luckiest, right?
Yeah,
That's not,
exactly.
there is variance and luck in poker, but that's not what a tournament is about, right? And
Yeah.
especially at the end. So I think that was just a silly argument. So Matt Berkey, I like his podcast. It's called Friends Only, and then he has the Solve for Why Academy, and they had talked about it. I sent you a link. He he had some good points to make about it. He did say it was like a slippery slope with women only tournaments, which I can see that. Like, how do you define who as a woman? I just think we should still be allowed to have our only tournaments in California and everywhere. And I don't care if a man really wants to buy in, as long as he identifies as a woman or he pays. So we should get a discount, just like WSOP did it. That was beautiful. Thank you, WSOP. These other casinos can do that in California. They can say if you identify as a woman, you pay the $1,000. If you don't identify as a woman, you pay the 10,000 and just leave it there, right? Let them live with themselves and their own integrity.
Especially after this last couple of weeks of just how crappy people have been at the poker table. I would love to play in more ladies tournaments. The energy is different. The people are different. I don't get harassed. I don't get abused. So it'd be nice if we actually had those. Men can join. They always do. It's not,
Yeah,
they're not barred from it. They are
right.
not that. Let me emphasize this. It's not that men cannot enter. You're welcome to enter and play, but you just have to pay a higher fee. I just think it's sometimes it feels better to
Well,
just to play
women
against
get
each
the
other.
discount
We get the discount.
is the
Yeah,
legal way to do that. We get the discount. Women do have some things where you have to consider, and we have a lot of women crushers. You have to consider that sometimes there are things that can be seen as working against us. Like I didn't even let myself take poker seriously. I didn't play locally. I only like tournaments. I only played online or on vacation. Why? Because I had a family and I was running my business and I had a child to raise and I felt like I needed to put what little time I had after work into those things. And that was my choice for sure. But we're moms, we have safety concerns that men don't have. It can be intimidating going to a casino by yourself or a card room or something like that. So I think considering that it's a little harder for us, it and many women, their first tournament is a ladies tournament,
right,
right? And
right,
I feel even more strongly that I'm going to save my money for the bigger events and travel if I have to go to ladies tournaments because even though I like playing with guys, I like playing co-ed, women are harder to beat for sure. I just feel like it's important that I vote with my money or I,
right.
put my money where my mouth is and at least definitely support all the women's tournaments that I can.
I
And I
agree
know
with
that
you.
there's a lot of women who are doing that. I think Matt Berkey, it's a good listen, you guys. It's called Is Ben CB, whatever his freaking name is on Twitter, Wrong About Women, Only Friends, episode 541. And that I found it on YouTube, but it's everywhere. He did have a lady named Katie Stone on. She's a poker and a chess player. It's all I know about her, and a mom, and she makes some great points. So if you guys want to talk about that, she brings up the point that we stop to have babies, we have kids to do, like we have other biological and life stuff.
Priorities.
Yeah, other
Yeah.
priorities and other things that we need to work on. He did mention he's well known, Matt Berkey, for his Solve for Why training site, which I have dabbled in. I think it's great. I love it. I've done a lot of those training sites. He did slip up a little and say that I don't know the point he was making either. There are no female run training sites. It's wrong, first of all, but it did make me think, I wonder why. I wonder if women do have those other priorities or if we just feel I don't know, but that is something to think about, but it's not correct. First of all, there are a few people who own training sites, men who are terrible. Like I don't want to learn anything from them, and some we just don't even know who they are. We had one recently in LA who training site came and put on tournaments and scammed everybody, and then sold the company and left. Like that's ridiculous. Yeah, well, that'll be another podcast, or I'll tell
Oh
you about
my
that
God. That's a
later.
crazy update. I had no idea. Yeah,
Yeah, you
we'll have
know
to
who I
talk about
mean,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, recently, and they were at our local casino doing tournaments that I participated in. So good for you, you scammer. I guess you can't show your face around LA tournaments now, but
Wow.
hopefully
Yeah.
you can live with yourself. He was literally saying, "That's my client, that's my client, that's my client," and then later, none of them were his clients. Like, I don't know what to make on that, but
Oh, jeez.
Victoria Liveshits started the Pocket Queens. Pocket Queens, they don't do any advertising, but they're growing by leaps and bounds. They are a study group for any women out there. It's free. They're a nonprofit. Maybe that's part of it too. Victoria and Rachel, I don't know, Gias Capuzzi. I have a hard time with Rachel's last name, but they started it because there wasn't much for women. And I recommend it
Great.
that you guys at least check it out. It's different. Women are different. They didn't start that to make a lot of money. Like these guys started their websites and like they are making a lot of money. They started it to pool resources to support women. I've met so many crushers, these women that absolutely Kathy Chang is mentoring for mixed games and she's won those like first place over and over. She also was a mom, raised her kids, like has been married, I think over 25 years. She's on the Rec Poker podcast recently, which is great. Um, there is a lot out there for us women. We just need to partake of it and continue to support each other, like you and I doing this podcast together.
Absolutely. I just kind of, I feel like, I don't know, it's easier to go up to another woman at a poker
Yeah,
tournament or a casino that's playing a tournament and say hi, just a different energy. And because there's so few of us, it kind of makes you feel it's like you're in a group,
yeah,
a select group. So it's nice to, I always say hi to the ladies that I know to,
yeah.
make everyone comfortable. So it's good to see each other once in a while.
Camaraderie for sure.
Yes.
And usually like 99% they're very nice.
Yeah.
They're happy and relieved to like know somebody and talk to somebody. And yeah, I think most women are not coming to the casino. I think they're there to play poker. I don't think they're there to pick up a guy, right? With maybe a few that I do know are told me they broke up with their boyfriend or something like that. So I think that might be one difference too, where guys who don't play poker regularly, maybe they just want to go not blow all their money at cash, like try a tournament and maybe meet some ladies or whatever, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, but we're not there to be guys, not that I know of.
I
I'm
mean,
so competitive. All I wanted,
yeah.
and honestly, I don't think I ever would want to date someone to play poker.
I don't
Like a
know if
lot.
I would either.
It's a lot.
I've met at least one good guy friend, and I know you have a couple good guy
Yeah,
friends like Chris and Johnny that you've met through poker, right?
yeah,
And I have Jeff for sure is a good friend of mine who I probably would have never met or never been speaking to if it didn't start with poker. So I'm open, always open to new friends. I'm married, so I don't need to date anybody, but maybe you would meet a guy who's not like a Ms. Reg or uh, and that's a good point too. You mentioned it earlier that some of these guys are miserable in their lives and unhappy, and I feel bad for that. Like we got to remember too, and I forget, gambling can be an addiction, right? So
100%.
I don't think we find that many in tournaments, but there are some people, guys mostly, who seem really sleazy. I don't know if sleazy is the right word, really addicted, really
Mhm.
sort of degenerate and desperate. And maybe I don't know if they would be in tournaments. I feel like they might be in bigger tournaments or cash games, but what
Yeah.
do you think?
I
Yeah.
mean, it depends on the person that, they're in a tournament and then on break, they go play a table game and
Yeah.
gamble and then they come back. So, everyone has their own preferences, but I think the cash players are different than tournament players because we're doing a competition. It's a different story that we're trying to tell. We're not gambling. It's not, to me, it's doing tournaments isn't gambling, as I've said, mentioned it before. We're trying to be first,
Yeah.
win the whole thing. So it's a different mentality and it's skill and it's a sport, and we're trying to be the best at it. So, very
Uh,
competitive.
that makes sense. I do. It is a sport for me, and it is
Yeah.
super competitive more than the social part. Like I've
Yes.
had people tell me they do go for the social, but always guys.
I'm not social at the tournament table.
Right.
I'm very nervous. Not that I'm nervous, I am very focused and I don't enjoy it until I make it to the money. Once the bubble has passed and I made it to the money, then I relax because I know
Yeah.
that's the real game starts then. And people, it's also a different setting and energy. I like to use energy because it shifts. The energy shifts at the poker table. So yeah, my whole thing is I'm very focused on winning and being the best. So I don't enjoy it as much as playing cash. If I played a mixed game, I enjoy that more.
Yeah. That makes sense for sure.
I do
So,
want to add real quick before
mhm.
we, do anything else. My Moose Lodge that I'm a part of had a few people play the main event, and we have 3 players still in it on day 4. Jeff
Yay.
Gilmore, Jason Villard, and Herb Karp. So I'm very excited for our team of players.
Yay. Congratulations, guys. That's amazing. That is not easy. Like
Not
big
at all.
mad props for that. I want you to let us know how they end up doing. When is cash?
It's day 4. They
Ooh.
started day 4 with 1,525 players, and the bubble is 1,517 players. So they have to, and they're playing hand for hand until they get down to that number. And
Wow.
there was over 10,100 entrants. So this year was a break. They broke the record
Oh, a
from last year.
record. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Wow. So is this the biggest one then?
Yes.
And the money, how many hours do you think it'll be?
First place gets 10 million.
No, how many hours do you think till the bubble breaks?
Oh, I don't know. They could have made it already. I would have to
Oh,
check.
that's
Yeah, because
awesome.
they started playing at 12, so they've been playing for 2.5 hours.
Okay. Well, go guys. I hope you've already made the money and are going to
That
go
would be
far.
great.
That's like, because with your league, you guys each have a piece of the people you send, right?
Correct.
Which is awesome. I'm going to try to get in that. If you guys are local and you want the information, I definitely think leagues are a great way to get better at poker and to have a stronger community around you. And it's a good way to get to the WSOP if you don't have a spare 10 grand around like I don't.
It's like, yeah, most people don't. I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
people like save their money for a year to do that. I personally think that's a lot of work. I would rather win a seat or pay $1,000 to go do a satellite to be able to
Yes.
do it.
Yeah, it's just so much variance in poker. I am not willing. I love satellites and I feel like if that happens, it's meant to be, but I just don't see, even if I was uber wealthy, I don't see myself throwing like 10,000 or more on a poker tournament. It's just,
Yeah.
yeah, I just don't see that. But you do have crushers like Bill Klein and who is very giving of his winnings to charity and things like that, which I highly respect. And you have Victoria, who is staking women to go into things like this. And like Lara getting staked. And we're going to update on her too when she's ready to do that, you guys. I did post it in the shorts on Instagram that she did go out, I think the end of day 2, and we will be updating when she's ready to do that. But congratulations to the guys that are still in, and congratulations to Laura because she did a great job. And you just run into variance, like you can't help it, right?
Yeah,
And
it's
you can't
just
do anything. It's a
if you're
hard,
not getting cards or you are getting cards and someone has better cards, it
yes,
is what it is.
yeah. Like you
Unfortunately.
hit your card and then they get trips or whatever. You can't help it. I'm going to mention on the Lexy Gavin thing one more thing that
Sure.
a year ago I went back and her WSOP vlog 1 year ago says female poker pro competes against approximately 1,500 men. WSOP poker vlog. And then this year she's talking about being harassed at the table. Last year we didn't hear any problems. So I'm wondering, and if you see this, Lexi, do you not have problems with guys usually, or is this the first time? Like, let us know because we really do want to start talking about this and making it known more because I think that will stop guys from doing it as much if they're aware that it bothers us. And I think it will get the floor to be a little better about making it safe and comfortable for us as well, right?
That's a great idea. Definitely.
Excuse me, I'm losing my voice because I talk all day for my job and now here, but um, I think that's all I have on this. Do you have anything else, Sandy?
No, I think we had a good conversation about what's going on right now in the last week or so and the
Yeah,
World Series. So next week we'll talk more about the World Series because it'll get to the tail end of it. I'm very excited.
it could be life changing for
It
so
is.
many people. So
Absolutely.
that's the fun
Definitely.
of it. And I'm thinking about, so we have the bike coming up, a big tournament
I was
series.
gonna ask you if you're gonna what
I'm
games are you
I
thinking
haven't
of
even
going
had
to?
a chance to look yet, so I got to look at that. I don't even know if I'm playing this weekend. I've been so busy with my nutrition work,
Okay.
gratefully, but are you, if you know, tell me. Also, we have the Run Good series up in Thunder Valley, I think it's called, up in Northern California
That's right.
in the
We were
next
thinking
two
about going to
weeks.
that.
So I'm thinking about maybe that and the Hendon Mob. I don't know if they sponsor it, but the guy who I talked to, I think his name's Anthony from Hendon Mob that I've been emailing with. He says he'll be up there. Some of them will be up there, and I'm. He said he would do the podcast after all the Run Good and the WSOP. So that would be very
That's
cool
great.
because I think pretty sure they all live in other countries.
Yeah,
Um,
I sent you the schedule for the bike, so you
thank
have
you.
it.
Thank you.
And there's a
Yeah.
couple cool ones. But a lot of them are during the week, which I can't do. So I have to focus on the weekend and I can't play any of the multi-day ones because they're during the week. And few of them
Yeah.
are quantum, which I'm not a fan of the quantum because anyone can come in at any time during that
Yeah.
quantum and buy in and still have the same amount of chips as you
Right.
racked up over those few hours.
That's
so I'm not
wrong.
a fan of the quantum.
Isn't that the
Yeah,
one Ty and Eric talk about that they think is for pros, not rec
Yeah.
players? Yeah.
Yeah, because anybody can come in with $1,000, $2,000 and get 200,000 in chips.
And just pay
After
for
the
it.
quantum,
Yeah.
pay for it. And while you sat there grinding it out. for
Yeah.
a few
It's
hours.
not fair. They're already
It's not.
pros and then they can afford that on
Yeah.
top of it because they have bigger bankrolls.
And they're
So
fresh,
yeah.
they're fresh,
Yeah.
they've had rest, it's a
Right.
whole thing.
And weekday events, not weekends, are what benefit pros also. It doesn't benefit the recreational. I try to take off if I ever have a weekday without client consults, but it was Wednesday and now we're doing the podcast. So I do try, yeah, because it is nice to play on a weekday sometimes. But usually it's weekends, which is
You can
fun,
do
but
it though. You can do it if it's like a multi-day where they have a lot of different flights. You should pick
Right.
one of those flights
Right.
and go do it and then be
Uh,
available for that second day.
I'm gonna look at it, but definitely
Yeah.
day 2 has to be a Saturday or Sunday for us. So,
Definitely.
and
100%.
I hope they're starting to listen and incorporate that in because they want their local players. Hopefully they want us women in their events also. But I
I
don't
mean,
know.
the bike is pretty cool when it comes to behavior, so I don't mind the bike. The only thing is
That's
that I got
true.
COVID there, but otherwise I don't have anything
Oh,
bad to say about the bike, so.
I've never had a bad experience at the bike either, I don't
haven't
think.
either, yeah.
Yeah. So that's good. And actually last time I was there, the new management came up and introduced themselves to me. I wasn't even in the poker tournament room. I was looking for a cash game. And that went well. So I haven't had any problems at the bike. And
And they have good food
Yeah.
there, so if you like to eat, if you were hungry and
Do
you're in
they?
a casino, they actually have pretty good, decent food there compared to a lot of the other casinos.
Maybe the next one we'll do is one on casino food and how to try to eat healthy and not, and because
Yeah.
some of the food has been so bad lately. All right, so we'll probably plan another one on that. I've been working on something anyway. And yeah, if you guys have any suggestions for topics and things like that, we love hearing them either here in the comments or Instagram and
Instagram, Facebook, yeah,
Facebook.
Twitter,
Yeah.
you put your comments on Twitter.
Oh yeah,
That's
we
good.
have our Twitter also. So yeah, we're
There's so
learning.
many things you have to like
Yeah, all this
do,
tech.
all these
Yeah.
different tech sites. It's crazy. So
All the
we're
tech
busy.
for-
We're both also very busy, so we're trying to figure that out and keep
Yeah.
it fresh.
But yeah, we're going to keep doing this. If you guys have ideas for guests you want to hear and things like that, I've been reaching out to people and hopefully we'll start live streaming soon also. Okay, we'll see you next week. Same time. All right, bye.